Hi, welcome to Mathematics with Tom. I am Tom, and today we're going to look at the slope of the line of best fit, which is the value b. And recall that the line of best fit is y prime equals b times x plus a. So, I'd like to take a look at a few cases. The first one is this. I'm going to just draw this, and here's 1, 2, and then we'll go 1, 2, 3. And my data points are going to be 1, 1, 1, 2, and 1, 3. Now, notice that just by looking at this, you can clearly see that those line up. As a matter of fact, they would clearly form a vertical line. So this here is a vertical line. And my question then is, what would B be for a vertical line? Well, let's calculate that for the vertical line. So we're going to construct our table. Remember, we'll have our ordered pair, our x's, our y's, our xy's, and our x's squared, and our y's squared. Okay, our first ordered pair is 1, 1. Our second one is 1, 2. And our third one is 1, 3. All right, let's do this. Let's calculate this. So I'm going to do this kind of quick. It should be getting more routine for us. So x is 1, y is 1, xy is 1, x squared is 1, y squared is as well. And then we have x is 1, y is 2, xy is 2, x squared 1, y squared 4. Finally, our last one, we have 1, x is 1, y is 3, x times y is 3, x squared is 1, y squared is 9. Let's add these up. I have a 3. So the summations of each column are 3, 6, 6, 3, and 14. All right. So now, if you recall, and we have the formula for b. So let's calculate what b would be for our vertical line. So this says we take n, which is 3, the number of ordered pairs, times the sum of the xy's, which is 6, minus the sum of the x's, we have that down at the bottom, that's 3, times the sum of the y's, which is also 6, over, then what do we have in the denominator? We're going to have n, which is 3, times the sum of the x's squared, which is going to be 3, minus, and then we're going to have, where was it? Oh, the sum of the x's, which are 3, and we square it to get 9. Oops, I'll write it that way. 3, and we square it. But notice what we get. We just get 0 in the numerator, and we get a 0 in the denominator. Strange. All right, let's try one more, and then we're going to take a look at what this means. What do I give you the point 1, 1, 2, 1, and let's go this out to 3, and we'll give you the point 3, 3, 1. And now obviously these form, what do these form? These form a horizontal line. These form a horizontal line. So now let's make another table and let's repeat this process. So we have my ordered pair, my x's, my y's, my xy, x squared, and y squared. Okay, there's this. And my ordered pairs are 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1. Okay, 1, 1, 1 times 1, 1 squared, and y squared, which is 1 squared, is 1. Then I have 2, 1 as my next ordered pair. It's going to be 2 times 1. It's going to be 2 squared and 1 squared. Then we have 3, 1. And 3 times 1 is 3. 3 squared is 9. 1 squared is 1. 6, 3, 6, 14, 3. Let's calculate b again. So b is going to be the number of ordered pairs, which is 3, times the sum of the xy's, which is 6, minus, then we have the sum of the x's, which is 6, times the sum of the y's, which is 3, over, my denominator is the number of ordered pairs, which is 3, times the sum of the x squareds. The sum of the x squareds is 14. Minus, and then we have over the sum of the x's, which is 6 squared. Well, what do we get here? Here we get a 0 in the numerator, but then we're going to get a 42 minus 36. So these are actually different answers, and that's what I want to show to you now. 0 divided by 6 is, in fact, 0. But 0 over 0, this is undefined. That's right. You cannot divide by 0. So here, what this means is b, which is the slope, is if we summarize this, the answer is this: the slope of a vertical line. If I could spell vertical correctly, that would also be nice too. Of a vertical line is undefined. That's your answer. And the slope of a horizontal line oops, just a second, I was just double checking my arithmetic here. Yeah, horizontal line is 0. So it might feel strange if someone says, well, what's the slope of a vertical line? And you say it's undefined because it's not a number. And you think in math class we're so used to giving numbers, but you actually don't give a number. You just say it's undefined. That's what the slope of a vertical line is. Now, if you have trouble with this, I'd like to show you something. Let's come over here to our calculator and let's take a look. If I type into the calculator 0 and I divide it by 0, 0, and I divide it by 0, look at what I get. Calc error, divide by 0. The calculator is telling you that something's wrong, not right. You can't do it. Now let's try 0 divided by 6. That was our horizontal line. And look at that. It gives us 0. And the point is that those are two very, very different numbers. And that is the way mathematics explains those numbers. So always be aware of that. Yes, we always want to be aware of this as well. Now, there's one more thing. What does B mean? What does B mean? What does B mean? Well, I want to show you. Let's just say that we have our ordered pair, x and y, and the units of the x's is time. Is that what I want to do? Yeah. And maybe distance. Well, how about we'll do hours? Yeah, let's do hours. And miles. Y is miles. Okay, so let's think about what B is. B is equal to some number n. Now if I take and I multiply hours times miles, that's what I'm going to get. I'm going to get hours times miles. Minus, now the sum of the x's, those are also hours. If I just add up all the hours, I have more hours. And if I add up all of the miles, I get more miles. And so what is, and then, oops, over in the denominator, what do we have? Well, we have n again. So the number of data points times the sum of the x's squared. Well, x is time, which is hours. Hours squared. Hours squared. Minus, well, now we take the sum of the x's, those are hours, and we square those. Well, I'm going to do a little fancy math. This is some factoring. If you've taken algebra, then you might be comfortable with this. If you haven't, that's okay. In the numerator, let's factor our hours times miles. So that's going to leave me with times n minus 1. And in the denominator, let's factor our hours squared. So that's also going to leave me with an n minus 1. And now I'm going to grab my favorite canceling color, which to this moment is this nice pretty yellow. So the n minus 1s are going to cancel. Well, what does this mean? Well, let's rewrite this now. Remember that this is in the numerator. We still have hours times miles over, and what does hours squared mean? Well, that's the same as hours times hours. Well, in the same way you can reduce a fraction by canceling the numbers, units behave the same way. So hours cancel. And what are we left with? We're left with, in this example, miles per hour. That's a unit you've heard before. If you've ever driven a car where your speedometer gives you your speed in miles per hour. Or if you, in some countries, you might be in kilometers per hour. Either way it works. But what does that mean? So that means that if this is hours over here, and this is miles, I'm looking at my original graph, what that means is that, let's grab a different color here. How about this blue? What that means is for every 1 hour of time, I change. So for every so many miles I travel, well, miles is a vertical distance. Maybe you go 1.5 miles, and you do that in 1 hour. And what that is here's your 1.5 miles that you drive in 1 hour. And so what B represents is this. It's the number, it's the change in dependent variable for 1 unit of change in the independent variable. Okay, there. And that is what the slope is. The slope is how fast you're climbing up or you're descending downward. So it's the change in the dependent variable, the y variable, for every 1 unit of change in the independent variable x. I hope that helps. Thanks for watching.